friends, it's Jamie from Home Ec Express, and in today's video we're going to talk about another important life skill, which is clothing care and how to be a great consumer when it comes to clothing and textiles. So as you can tell, today's video is being filmed right here in my closet. And when I moved to Oklahoma, it was the first time I ever got a grown-up closet. I'm used to very small spaces to work in. However, you could probably see that the merchandiser in me definitely is how I organize my closet. I worked many years for a famous Western wear company as a merchandiser and assistant manager of a store in California. And so that part of me never left. And so the reason that I choose to organize my closet this way is because it is colorized and categorized. So I have jackets and vests, short sleeve, long sleeve, jeans, dresses, skirts, wraps, etc. So it makes it very, very easy for me to be able to pick out what I'm going to wear in the morning, because everything is clearly hanging there for me to put outfits together. And also when it's time to put clothing away, I also have easy access to be able to put my hangable clothes up. Now that brings up a very important point. Are all clothes something that should be hung up? And the answer is no. There are many clothing pieces, especially knit, whether it be jersey knit or if it's a sweater, that sometimes the weight of the sweater or the knit item and other types of garments as well is too much to be hung on a hanger because it will stretch out. So that's why there are some items that have to be folded and put away in drawers or cubbies or whatever your setup is. So it's very important that you understand how that works. The other thing too is when we just kind of throw our clothes in piles and stuff like that, it's a little bit extra wear and tear on your garments. We want to make our garments last as long as possible so that we're not having to constantly rebuy our pieces. It's not good for the pocketbook. It's not good for the environment. We don't want to keep throwing clothes away. You be creative and find ways to recycle them. So it's very important that we are very aware of what we're buying. So I recommend a lot of my students and clients that you kind of have a base wardrobe, a lot of your neutrals and very classic pieces that don't go out of style. And then every season add a couple pieces that are more trendy or whatever the hot color is for that season, and just to kind of spice up your wardrobe. And then of course accessories are always fun. So you'll see in my closet I have all kinds of colors and patterns and things, but many of the items that I have don't go out of style. So always think about that. Now let's talk about how we're shopping. There are laws in the United States to protect the consumer that are required of garment manufacturers and textile manufacturers. So when I say textiles, that usually brings in fabrics of all different kinds that you would find at fabric stores, essentially. And so we have to make sure that there's certain information provided when they're selling the textile or the garment as brand new. So you have to have some kind of tag in the garment that will give you some information that you're going to need. And if you're buying fabric, that is normally found on the end of the bolted fabric, and it's on a sticker, and it's supposed to give you certain information. So what are we looking for as consumers? And so I have one of my blouses here. I love this blouse. And what we have to look for is either there's a tag in the neck like this, or sometimes this blouse actually has it in both places. There is a second tag right here in the side seam, and that's very common in blouses to have something in the side seam. Pants are usually either in the fly, which is where the zipper is, or in the back, in the waist. Now they have, because people will complain about their garments getting, the tag garments getting itchy, a lot of the t-shirt manufacturers will stamp the information in the back neck of the t-shirt. So what are we looking for by law? So we are looking for first the designer or the manufacturer, We are looking for the country of origin, and that's super important because if there's ever a problem, we want to make sure that we know what country it came from. And that tells us sometimes about the quality as well as what kind of materials you might see. Now, the other thing that we need to know is use and care, and it's not on this tag. It's going to be on the side seam tag. If I can pull that back up again. Okay, now if we look at this tag here, all right, it has our use and care instructions. For the case of this blouse, machine wash cold with light colors, and there's some symbols that are universal on here at the bottom that tell us about whether or not they can have the iron, washer and dryer, things like that, super important. And then it has to also tell you on here, what is the garment made of? What textiles? So this is made of 100% polyester. It could be a blend, it could be silk or cotton, anything like that. But as an educated consumer, especially an item that's made out of 100% cotton, we have to know that because cotton shrinks. Polyester doesn't shrink, however, it can burn if you put too hot of an iron on it. So those are all things that we need to know. Also, this is a pink blouse. We would never ever bleach a pink blouse. So you need to be aware of what types of cleansers or enhancements that you can add into your laundry. Now, what about jackets, right? I have my wool coat here. Now, can a wool coat like this go in your washer and dryer? Absolutely not. So somewhere in here on the side, I'm assuming, yep, there it is our tag. And this is, guess what, my friends? Dry clean only. All right, so that's very important to know because that adds an expense. Usually with a wool coat like this, once a year you might take it in unless you spilled something on it, of course. But that's all information that we need to know. But what else is required of the labeling laws in the United States? We know we have to have what it's made of. We've checked that. Where it's made or country of origin, the manufacturer, but guess what? By law, they have to tell you the price when you buy it brand new. And in particular to children's sleepwear, believe it or not, they have to put a tag on the garment that tells you it is a flammable textile and that it is not intended for children's sleepwear, even though it is technically a pair of pajamas. That labeling law was put in most likely as a result of some kind of lawsuit and an accident that preceded it. So it's important that you understand why that tag is there because it confuses a lot of people. Why would baby pajamas say it's not intended for sleepwear? And that is because of a law put in place. But of course we all know that we have, those are pajamas that kids are gonna sleep in and not to put candles in their crib. So that's been one of those weird things I get asked about quite a bit. The other reason we need to talk about flammability is there's a whole line of clothing out there now in the work world that is called FR rated, which is a flammability rating. If you're a lineman, firefighter, it's a special type of textile that has been treated to withstand heat. So welders also are very familiar with this. So if sparks and whatnot that normally could smolder or start a fire on a regular garment like what I'm wearing, they are treated with a flame retardant so that they don't spark or catch fire in those type of work situations. And so those are usually found at specialty stores, but it's really important to understand what FR means in the garment world, as well as the different fabrics that are out there. So hopefully this has become really good information for you so that you are a more educated consumer. Now, what about consignment stores or thrift shops? Those are all used clothes or donated clothes. So if the tags are ripped out, it's okay. Because it's being sold for the second time, they are not required to follow the same consumer laws that a first-time garment is, or what the manufacturer is required to do. So that also comes up quite a bit. Now, sometimes you might see a garment in a consignment or a thrift shop with all the tags on it. You kind of score that way. Brand new item, sold at thrift shop prices, you win. But it's really important that we know what we're buying, we know where it's coming from, and we know how to take care of our clothes so that they last longer. So I hope you learned a lot today. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe this video and our YouTube channel for Home Ec Express. Make sure you go to our website at homeecexpress.com and follow us on Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. Till next time, friends.